And now I want to talk about my experience working at McDonald's between 1998 and 2001. I was born in 1982. So when I'd go to McDonald's throughout the 1980s and early 1990s, I remember as we'd order food, opposite of the registers, there would be like 3 or 4 registers in a row. On the opposite side where the employees were, they'd have a row full of like a heating bin. And they'd have pre-made sandwiches there already assembled, such as Big Macs, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, quarter pounders, double quarter pounders, crispy chickens, grilled chickens, filet of fish, and I think chicken nuggets. I think they were all pre-assembled, just ready. They weren't special ordered, nothing. They were just the way they came. And the bad thing about that was they were on timers. They had a little timer, like metal timers with marks on them. And I think they were about maybe 15 minutes maximum per sandwich or something. I don't know. And after the timers expired, they would throw those sandwiches out. The bad thing was, I'd order like a cheeseburger Happy Meal when I was a little kid. Maybe an extra cheeseburger on the side because I was fat. You know, I'm always fat. I was a big eater. So I'd take a bite of a cheeseburger and I go, this is dry. Most of the time it was like that. And then I'd have the second cheeseburger. This is dry. The bad thing was, after about several minutes, the juices would dry up. That was something I did not like about McDonald's. I liked the food when it was hot, when it was good, but when it was dry after so many minutes, the hamburger meat was bad to eat. The chicken, it wasn't that bad, I believe. It was a little cold, or less than hot, like warmish. But when the burger meat got cold, it had no flavor. So I started working at McDonald's in 1998 in the January 1st, 1998. And we had, one thing I hated about working there was we had these puffy registers. They were like old register screens, computer screens, and then down below where the keyboards were, I believe they had like these puffy things you'd push. And they'd have like 3 different options on each like section, like each key. And there was an up arrow and a down arrow. So you can choose whatever was in the center, you push and it would go on. And there was an up arrow and you choose whatever was above that. When you push it, that key. If there's a down arrow, you push whatever's on that key, it would go to the lower one. And it was just, when you needed something, you'd have to always call a manager. All the time. Oh, I need help. Oh, the drawer. I need to get more cash from the drawer or something. You couldn't do it by yourself. Even if you were just a crew member. You couldn't do that. So, in the fall of 1998, we were sent to another McDonald's that had just started with touchscreens. That's when touchscreens began. Or maybe a little before that point they began. But I remember in Methuen, Massachusetts, that's when touchscreens began at McDonald's in the fall of 1998. So, and it got a lot easier and a lot faster to work with registers. And then in the summer of 1999, they made for You. That's when it finally came to McDonald's in Methuen, Massachusetts. Made for You was where they got rid of the drink station where where the employees had to pour the drinks. They didn't have to do that anymore for the customers. There was a drink machine in the lobby. The customers would just get the cup and do that themselves. And they got rid of the heating bin with all those pre-made sandwiches. And in the grill area, they made trays where they cook the meat and they keep the meat in those trays. And whenever an order came on the screen, they just make it to order. And those trays would keep the meat piping hot for, I don't know how many minutes, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes, I don't know. As you take the tray out to get the meat, steam would come out. That's how hot these trays kept the meat. So, and I believe that's when food tasted a lot more fresh at McDonald's. And I'm seeing online food tasted better back in the 80s and prior. I don't think so, because when they made that bulk stuff, in bulk, the taste dried up after so long. So those are 2 things I liked about McDonald's that changed: the touchscreen registers and the made for you.